Now, everybody that's my age, oh, we in fellowship. I feel you. I feel you. I mean, it's like, I used to have deeper, greater fellowship with young people. But now they speak a different language. They live in a different world. I mean, we got something going, but those of y'all that got either gray hair or nay hair, we are in deeper fellowship. The ship in the Bible, again, is a fitting image of the church. The song we may get to in the black church is called the Ship of Zion. The Ship of Zion. I'm going to look at what that means. Now, let's those of you that are Bible students, you've read this story, but now I want you to go back and study it. In this story, in Acts chapter 27, 28, there are at least 12 scenes. Or for those that watch Netflix and all that kind of stuff, there's 12 in this series. Episodes. And, some people, they binge. They'll watch they'll take the whole weekend and watch all of it. And some people said, if you've missed part 3, you don't. And so God says, listen, Luke, the historian, gives us a history of this journey, and he intentionally gives us 12 different spots or 12 different episodes. Let me tell you why this is important. That's what I'm trying to do now at 75. I've been through a whole bunch of stuff. There's some episodes I done forgot. I'm like, okay, what happened this year and this year and this year? Just like some of y'all, this journey, this part of the journey, how did you get through? God says, Luke, I want you to document, because Berean, how long Berean been around?
83 years.
That's a long time. Somebody should have the history of what happened the first 5 years, the second 5 years. Because what you'll see is that from the very beginning, the God that was God back then is the same God today. See, this church been through some stuff y'all didn't even know about. Just like your mama been through some stuff. Your dad, somebody, I don't want to talk. You better talk about it. Because I want to know how you got through that storm. And say, well, I made a lot of mistakes. I definitely want to hear from people who made mistakes. Because I can learn what not to do. And so Luke was not only a doctor, but he was a historian. There's somebody in the family usually keep all the pictures. So when the funeral comes, everybody got no. Somebody should be keeping record. That's my point. There should be a history of what God's been doing in your life. So if you would go back and look at each of these episodes, you would see all kinds of things from one point to another. For instance, one of the things that you'll know about God, you'll learn, is that, well, those of you either have math or education background, what's the shortest distance between 2 points? You would think that if God wants to get you here to there, am I right about it? It's your Lord. Why I gotta go through? Why? All you gotta do is make that man pay me. All you gotta do is so we question. Why not a how come? So when you read the story, when you look at all they had to go through, see, some of y'all been through some stuff. You say, I don't even want to remember. Yes, you need to remember, because you will see God's goodness and His grace. So that when you look to the future and think that all your bad stuff is going to catch up with you, no, the writer says, when I look back, I saw goodness and mercy following me. He was good and merciful back then. He's good and merciful now. And so God says, read this chapter, y'all. Study it. Don't only read it, study it. What happened here? What happened there? when you was in school, when you got fired, when you was on drugs, when you cussed somebody out, when you was sick, what happened? Here's how you can do this. When you read this story, ask yourself the question, where are you in this narrative? This is Paul's last journey, right? Where are you? For instance, in the story, there's some accomplished soldiers. You know, Paul was under arrest. But there were some sailors on this journey. Even though they were soldiers and sailors, they still needed a shepherd. Because see, God orchestrated the circumstances where the problem was beyond their expertise, beyond your education, beyond your background, beyond. God said, "Listen, you understand something? I'm hooking this up. This gonna be." See, people say again a crazy thing. People say. Some of y'all have said it too. Stop saying this. God won't put on you more than you can bear. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because if it's only what you can bear, you would need help. I got this. No, you don't. Children, you got more on you than you can bear. Old folk, young folk, God says, I will allow you to be in circumstances that are beyond you so that other believers can help you, pray for you, walk with you, snatch you, care for you. And so we'll see in the story how God allowed these people, prisoners and accompanying passengers. Matter of fact, let's talk about, we'll hope I can get to it. In this story, for instance, you'll find the historian using words like we, they, and them. So whenever you find yourself in a situation, not situation, situation, we, they, them. Because there's always times where this is what they did, this is what they gonna do, but then times when there's been stuff that we did it too. As you're gonna see, hopefully I get to it, but let me say it now. On this journey, Luke, telling the truth, said, we gave up all hope.